Texas is a great state. Texas has zero income tax. Texas has a right-to-work state, a Republican legislature, a Republican Supreme Court. Texas has a lot of oil and gas in the ground. Those are wonderful things. But Governor Perry doesn't believe that he created those things. If he tried to say that, why, it'd be like Al Gore saying he invented the Internet. Look, the reality is there are differences. There are differences between states. I came into a state that was in real trouble. Huge budget gap, losing jobs every month. We turned it around. 3 out of 4 years, we had unemployment rate below the national average. We ended up with 4.7% unemployment rate. I'm proud of what we were able to do in a tough situation.
Time, Governor Perry.
I know back and forth, but Michael Dukakis created jobs 3 times faster than you did, Mitt.
Well, as a matter of fact, George Bush and his predecessor created jobs at a faster rate than you did, Governor.
And back and forth, back and forth. Anyway, first Perry pouncing, then Romney roasting, and today the media, Rick ramming. You see this, the New York Times, electability a primary liability for Perry. The Los Angeles Times, a Reagan debate shows promised peril of Rick Perry. Huffington Post, sleeping like a baby. And there's many, many more headlines where that came from. Republican strategist Noel Nickford, though, says keep them coming, because for the Texas governor, they are only helping. Yeah. Noel, a big fundraiser in the Republican Party, a go-to person for any White House aspirant of the Republican persuasion. So you think this actually helped the Texas governor?
Oh, wow. Did you not see that? Perry went pow, point, and you had Romney go pow, counterpoint. I thought that was excellent. And I also think that...
Well, who got the better of the pows?
Well, I think that, you know, you've got to... This was an introduction for Perry. You know, basically the voters got to see him. But the second thing that I thought was great is look at Romney. I think that actually the debate between those two specifically made Romney a better candidate. He did not take anything. He fired back, and he was quick. After all, he's been campaigning for what, for 4 years, ever since '08. I mean, he's been steadily
So maybe this crowded field, or the emergence now of a genuine threat to the nomination emerges, and it's actually helped him.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of things, I think Perry's going to have to watch out, because he's got a lot of, you know, as you said, the media behind him really hammering him on that Social Security
The Ponzi
issue.
scheme comment.
That's going to hurt him.
How damaging is that going to be when these debates move, I think, to Florida?
Well, look at Florida. Yeah, Florida is not going to stand for that. And even Texas. They're not going to like that. Look at people that are retired. Look at where they go. They go to a lot of these no-income tax states like that, like Texas, like Florida. A lot of retirees in Florida. And
but
Florida
people of all ages, don't they know it is a Ponzi scheme?
You don't want to, when you see your check when you're working, even when you're young, you see Social Security.
But would it hurt the candidate who just calls it what it is and says, look, I'm not going to damage things for those who present beneficiaries or those close to retirement, but for younger people who definitely are of that mindset, he's not really giving anyone a Fox News alert.
Romney said it needs to be fixed. It needs to be revamped. Look, Social Security was all right. It was the government that was borrowing money from it. So it had a nest egg. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, there is that. So you think that Perry got the better of that overall debate?
I think Perry did very well. I think people were expecting him to really come out and knock them crazy. But I think what he did, I think who you saw is who Perry is. And, you know, he has a lot of little cowboy-esque rhetoric, and I think the media is going to go crazy with that and try to compare him to Bush, and the Democrats are going to have a heyday with that.
This is a photo that a lot of people made a big deal of, and I don't know if I did, but I think it was the Washington Post that ran it. And it just shows, I think, Nancy Reagan looking at the candidates, but particularly warmly at Mitt Romney. What are we to make of that? What are we to say about it? It's the Reagan Library.
Neil, nothing. I think that Nancy Reagan just happened to gravitate to Romney.
Who do the Reaganites within the party like more?
That's a good question.
Rick Perry.
I think they're good. Yeah, Rick Perry, that is right. But whether or not Nancy Reagan kind of looked adoringly at Mitt Romney, you know, he's a nice-looking man, so.
Well, Governor Perry's a nice looking.
He is. Don't make me choose.
We're guaranteed a nominee, though, with good hair, the way things are going, right?
Absolutely. There's so much good hair.
So is it really between these two guys, and then what would tilt it for one or the other?
It is between these two guys. I mean, the numbers are showing it, and the fundraising numbers will show it.
Well, how is Perry doing in that regard?
Well, we're going to find out. Let me tell you something. They are in battle for the same donor. They are in battle for the base. the Republican base, the
well, you know
hardcore.
these base guys.
Yes,
I'm not
I
saying
do.
that they're base guys, but you know they were leaning and heavily favoring Romney. Now that he looks a tad more vulnerable, that he's not even the front runner, according to national polls,
Right.
that doesn't mean anything, as you often remind me. Is that money shifting at all?
I know for a fact that they're competing for the same dollars. I'm not going to expose some of my donors, but
Why
I
not?
know, well, I don't think they would enjoy that.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's all open on OpenSecrets.com probably. But what it
Is the Bachmann money dried up?
the
Michelle
Bachmann money, I think, is pretty much dried up because thanks to Perry. I mean, a lot of the Tea Party people are looking to Perry as their new savior, but they are in Romney and Perry, to answer your question, are in competition for that same donor. So you're going to see a lot of the super PACs play a big role in this as well.
All right. Good seeing you again, Noel. Be well. Noel Nickport.